Hello, everybody. It is I, Zankoku, and this is I Got My Heart Broken. So here is a poem, episode number 10. Oh man, this is the attempted weekly poetry slash therapy series where I share my poetry and then share my thoughts and feelings about things, but maybe try not to because sometimes things get messed up because of that. So anyways, today, oh man. This week has been an interesting week. Some things were pretty good, some things were pretty bad, and some things were kind of concerning, if not downright awful. However, overall, I'm generally in a pretty good mood, and the dark, sorrowful stuff has kind of, stayed away for the most part, so I'm really thankful for that. Really glad. So anyways, let's kind of get into the poetry thing, and man, I've been looking through it, and it's like I've done what, like 20 poems almost. I didn't get like the exact count, but it's a lot of poems, and eventually this series is going to end because I am just going to run out of content. I'm going to run out of poems that I've written, and really it takes a while. I mean, these poems have been written over several years, and so it's not all just like every day I can just sit down and just burn out like a poem here or there and whatnot. So anyways, so let's get into it with this theme I think I'm having here, because I've been trying to kind of curate them a bit and try to keep them with a theme of some sort, try to connect them. And so this week's theme is going to be blood. Yes, the ritual of blood. Okay, wait, nope, sorry. That's a flashback to the movie Hack-O-Lantern. Oh man, that was great. But no, this week we're gonna have a blood theme, and it's for no reason, no real current reason for it. But I've gone through and picked out some that deal with blood. Anyways, or have blood themes or bleeding themes or things like that. So let's start with the first one here. And this one is called Soulbleed. And this one's really interesting because it is kind of like it's describing a moment where you wail. And it's a moment of wailing, and I don't know if you know what wail or wailing is. It's maybe kind of an archaic term nowadays, but it's like this kind of uncontrolled crying and moaning and wailing. Just that's the kind of the sound you're making. You're like, and so and part of this poem is some of the imagery in this poem is actually inspired by an anime called Key the Metal Idol. And in that anime, there is a villain that has figured out how to extract basically the life essence of people. And it has to be stored in really cold temperatures, otherwise it evaporates and it's like pink. And that sort of image and idea really stuck with me because it's like a sort of visual representation of someone's soul, someone's essence being captured and stored, and there it is. And there was a scene where they had containers of this, and the main character can figure out whose is whose because the soul and the personality, the being is still that, but now it's weird. It's a good watch though, trust me. So anyways, so the second half you kind of will see where that inspiration comes. Anyways, so here it is, Soulbleed. Let's go. One day I returned home, the darkness deep inside. I can't seem to do anything right, my failures I cannot hide. Horrible feeling of emptiness, crushing weight upon my soul, with a heavy heart and from my soul tears out of control. I cry for my soul's dying, can't keep this in anymore. My tears are flowing, dropping like rain upon the floor. From inside of me the tears they come in ferocious waves. No ending I can feel, it seems that I will cry for days. I moan for my soul, I feel it all draining away, filling my ears with agonizing music, it's what I sing today. The sound of my sorrow's song, the madness from within. My eyes burn from the ceaseless tears, and so it begins. Soulbleed, coughing and blubbering, pieces of my being cried away. Soulbleed, living is suffering. Is this my dying? I cannot say. I look down as I see something other than tears fall. Is this blood or something else? I cannot believe what I saw. It's pink and cold and evaporates as it hits the floor. My soul's escaping, my being is leaving and will be no more. Sorrowful essence of my inner self running from this hell. Frozen self is falling, pounding of my heart's wounds now swell. My pain, my life, destruction of my maker's breath. With horror I see it leaving. Is this the beginning of my death? Depression and darkness, my life's everlasting night. The steaming vaporous ice, as I cry, it obscures my sight. My lonely soul's bleeding frenzy, crying out in pain. O God, why must this be? For my battered life will I die in vain. Soulbleed, my angels are leaving me. Life has been falling apart. Soulbleed, there is no end that I can see. Shattered are the pieces of my heart. So, yeah, that one is pretty bleak. I think I wrote this one. It's I think my second year in college, and it was on a rather dark occasion, and this one predates me meeting that certain person, the person who shall not be named. Anyways, whatever. And so, but it's just one of those instances. Like I have wailed a few times in my life, and the one that I remember most vividly, of course, was caused by she who shall not be named, and it was really weird because so something was happening, and she was there, and I took a step out because I just was kind of feeling a little. But I didn't know that what was about to come. So I'm just like sitting outside. And then all of a sudden I noticed, because, my head was down, and the amount of tears that were falling from my eyes, or coming from my eyes, were dripping off of my cheeks, and they were hitting my knees, like raindrops. And I kind of just held my hands up, and I could catch them as they fell, and it was kind of bewildering. But then it just like a dam that just was about to fail, and then boom, it just all came out, and I went to my vehicle and just sat there and just basically kind of like this, just moaned and cried. And it's, I think like wailing is kind of like your body's way of trying to help you in a way, because it definitely gets emotion out of you, and it takes a lot of energy out of you too. And there's the whole adage, what is that, cry yourself to sleep, that sort of thing, but it, if you have like a lot of pain and sorrow and you're just holding it in, definitely it can manifest itself in many different ways. But there is, like the dam, there is a point where it's just going to bust. And so I it is an expression of deep sorrow, but it is also, I think, a way to try to help you, an involuntary reaction. I mean, crying, I think it helps in a way. I don't quite understand how or why it does, but there's a reason we do it, and I think it's sort of a way for us to deal with the power of those emotions, and that is a way for us to sort of try to purge, to try to cleanse, because otherwise, if we just kept it all inside, it will probably damage us even more. So, but this poem kind of has this idea of that it's not like I've been wounded so bad that the wound is not just in my heart, it is in my soul, and my soul is being expelled. Like for instance, this whole the sorrowful essence of my inner self running from this hell, like, because my body is trapping it, and I'm in hell, and so it wants to escape, so it's trying to get out. Frozen self is falling, pounding of my heart's wound now swell. My pain, my life, destruction of my maker's breath. And so, one of those things is like the vision of it being this evaporating, vaporous thing, harkens to like the look of breath, especially when it's really cold out and you're like, your breath kind of evaporates, or not evaporate, but you get that vapors. And of course, maker's breath, that's, kind of a Judeo-Christian idea, because, God breathed life into you. And so that your soul is that breath, and now that is leaving, that is escaping. And so this sort of idea of how that would look. So anyways, it's a very bleak and somber and depressing, emo type of poem there. So, but there you go. That's Soulbleed. So, yeah, these ones are separated by quite a bit. But how are y'all doing out there in whatever land, internet land, huh? Yeah. Anyways. My gosh, it's so far away. Oh, there's one that I might never read because I don't know how people would take it. But ay. Holy shit, how far is this away? Okay, so here is the second one, and this one is kind of interesting because it's very dark and violent, but the end kind of turns a bit. So anyways, and this one is structured like a lot of my poems are structured kind of like songs in a way. Because, oh man, I was young and I'm just going to get a band and we're going to rock out. We're going to rock out. And what better way to rock out than with depressing, sorrowful, or violent, bloody lyrics. Sorry, you're... Wait. So I can't do the Gene Simmons thing. Like, my tongue does not... I don't think my tongue goes that far. Right? I know I'd be more popular with the ladies. My tongue goes... Stop. I have to look good first anyways, or have money. I don't even know if, like, I gotta review that. Maybe I gotta cut that out. I gotta, like, censor that. My tongue could be vile for all I know. I never really look at my tongue, so, I mean, you know, it could be offensive. But anyways, back to what we were talking about. Back to the video at hand here. Anyways, so let's just get into it. This one's called Bloodied. And I got a little moisture from my tongue there. Dang. I was about to say a joke there, and I made better. I was like, no, don't go there. Don't make moisture jokes, because we all know. Oh my God. Let me compose myself here for a second. Mm-hmm. All right. Soulbleed was the last one. This one is called Bloodied. All right. You know, I might not amuse you guys out there, but man, I definitely amuse myself sometimes. And maybe that's all that matters. Bloodied, the funniest subject of all time. Like, I'm just cracking up on the blood episode here, people. All right, Bloodied. Let's just go. Let's do it. All right. Take some time and really think. Think about what you've done to me. Selfish choice. Start over. Take some time and really think. Think about what you've done to me. Selfish choices and thoughtless actions killing my happy reality. Suffering through incessant pain, hoping and praying for it all to end, desperate for some solace, some closure, emptiness, my only friend. Breaking apart inside, I bleed for you. Cutting deep within, I bleed for you. Actions speak louder than words. Then how could I have been deceived? Your words now ring so hollow. How could I've ever believed? A vicious cycle of self-doubt and self-defamation begins to appear, losing my faith in love in God as all traces of humanity disappear. Breaking apart inside, I bleed for you. Cutting deep within, I bleed for you. Striking the hammer clear upon my battered and bloodied head, waiting for the cold sleep, a darkened home for my body dead. Sliding out of my delirious consciousness as the final act curtains falls. Surviving this trauma unlikely as I hear death's sweet beckoning calls. Breaking apart inside, I bleed for you. Cutting deep within, I bleed for you. Shake your head in disbelief as I rise from these ashes. See my will materialize with these violent flashes. Nothing left, nothing at all. You look at me, standing tall. Bloodied, my being so bloodied. Cut soul, broke mind, dead heart, I bleed for you. Cut heart, broke soul, dead mind, I bleed for you. Cut mind, broke heart, dead soul, I bleed for you. Bloodied, everything so bloodied. Cut soul, broke mind, dead heart, I bleed for you. Cut heart, broke soul, dead mind, I bleed for you. Cut mind, broke heart, dead soul, I bleed for you. Bloodied, everyone's so bloodied. Breaking apart inside, I bleed for you. Cutting deep within, I bleed for you. Bloodied, so bloodied. Cut mind, broke heart, dead soul. I bleed no more. So, yeah. Like I said, kind of an unexpected ending, that last verse, because, saying you're shaking your head in disbelief as I rise from these ashes. See all my will materialize with these violent flashes. And then, it's me standing tall. So for some reason, this beginnings with this sort of anger about what has been done to me. Take some time and really think about what you've done to me. Selfish choices and thoughtless actions killing my happy reality. And it's like those feelings, actions speak louder than words. Then how could I have been deceived? And your words now ring so hollow. How could I have ever believed? The vicious cycle of self-doubt and self-defamation. And, that's one of those things, and kind of going back to last week's, the Untitled poem, where you have, doubt can deceive. And so, you have this cycle of self-doubt and self-defamation. Self-defamation, basically, you're tearing down yourself, you're defaming yourself, you're calling yourself worthless, you're calling yourself horrible, you're calling yourself no good. And I think, that's sort of like the kind of the essence of what I go through, is that I have a lot of doubt, self-doubt, and it is a cycle because, it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes, and it comes back around, and it goes away and it comes back around. And it's something that, I've been working on in my life and trying to, help keep that self-doubt, which leads to the self-defamation, because when you start doubting yourself and your self-worth, you start to do that. You start to believe that you're not that great, you're not that good, you're horrible. And so so we've got these opening verses, so to speak, talking about things like that. Striking with the hammer clear upon my battered and bloodied head, waiting for the cold sleep, a darkened home for my body dead. There's death, the cold sleep, right? Sliding out of my delirious consciousness as the final act's curtain falls. So the curtain is falling on the final act. Surviving this trauma unlikely as I hear death's sweet beckoning call. So you get those three verses in there, and in between, breaking apart, cutting deep within, I bleed for you. And then you get to the final one where it's like, no, you're shaking your head in disbelief, and in a way you don't believe. Like, how can you rise and how can you stand tall with all this before that? And I think that it speaks to the resiliency of oneself and the resiliency of the soul to be able to survive the onslaught that can occur in life. And it's bad. It's bad and it's hard and it's rough, especially at the time when you're feeling it, and it feels crushing and it feels overwhelming and it feels unwinnable, unbearable. There's the illusions, like surviving this trauma is unlikely. Likely to fall into death's embrace, things like that. It's and yet still in the end, you're standing up, and then the whole cut soul broke mind, dead heart, and then kind of switching it up each word. But, I bleed for you, I'm bloodied, everything's bloodied, we're also bloodied, but in the end, I bleed no more. And I intended that not to be, I bleed no more because I'm dead, and I can't bleed no more because it's all bled out. I intended that to be, I bleed no more because at the end, I'm standing tall. It's not cutting me, not right now, anyways. And so that's the thing, like, that's kind of like what we strive for, is to get to that end where we're standing tall. And I think it's inspiring to know that you can go through these trials, these tribulations, these traumas, and still come out of it, and still stand and say, I'm here, I am ready, I am rising. And so it's a work in progress. It's always a work in progress. Like, when I think back to that poem last week, and I try to aspire to live that, and I fail practically every day, because, like I said, doubt, fear. Oh my goodness, fear is, I am in a prison of fear. It's there's so many things that I'm afraid of, and I allow that fear to dissuade me constantly. And it's something that I work on. And the thing is, fear is not always such a bad thing. Fear can help protect you, but if you become a prisoner of fear, sure, it can protect you, but it can also keep you from living and keep you from achieving and keep you from bettering yourself. And so I guess the trick is, when to listen to your fear and when to, throw caution to the wind, because I'm sure there are some things that I don't do out of fear, and it's right that I don't do them because of the fear. But, anyways, just always like to circle back, connect the themes and stuff like that. Anyways, so there you go. Bloodied. So now we are going to do one last one for today. And this one fits into the category quite nicely, and it is called Rain. Probably know what kind of rain I'm talking about. Anyways, so rain. Let's get to it, shall we? Cut deep inside through layers of skin, tearing away my flesh with a big grin, ripping the tissue without a stop, shredding my muscles as tendons pop. Splashing red rain pouring from my arm, life floods streaming, my God. Start this again. Let's start this again, my friends. Okay. Cut deep inside through layers of skin, tearing away my flesh with a big grin, ripping the tissue without a stop, shredding my muscles as tendons pop. Splashing red rain pouring from my arm, life flood streaming, injurious harm, drowning in death's grandiose fire, fading to black as my life expires. Slicing into the surface of me, bloodied my body, all you can see, stripping the bones finally bare, violence continues as long as you dare. Splashing red rain pouring from my life, screaming and writhing as you turn the knife, drowning in my own warm gold being, fading to black as life is receding. Severing substance from my mind, lasting relief, a dream I can't find. Nothing left now, no flesh and no bone. Final justice, I've reaped what I have sown. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that one speaks for itself. It's just this sort of feeling of just being torn apart, cut through 1,000 knives, just the feeling of constantly attacked and deconstructed, and just everything being stripped and torn and cut away from you, and leaving you with nothing, and reaped what I've sown, because there is that sort of that self-blame, because it has to be my fault. I've done something to warrant this attack. I've done something to warrant this kind of response, and so it's part of that sort of pathology, and just this sort of unmaking of yourself through the probably most painful and violent and vicious ways. And so it's bloody. It's definitely bloody. There you have it. Rain, rain, it's not chocolate rain, no. I wonder if anyone even knows that meme. Anyways, so I'm gonna do a bonus. I'm gonna do a bonus it's sort of, it's not connected to the theme at all. I was looking through these poems, and there's one that was untitled, like completely untitled. Like usually I'd like parenthesize something like that or whatever. And you know what? No, I think I will save that for another day. Now that I think about it, I'm probably feeling that one a little bit, and in respect to things, I'm not sure I should say it. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just... maybe it describes me and how I feel a little bit too much right now. And I don't know if I want to share that with the world quite yet. I'm looking at that first line. There is a place for me to go in this world, a place where my heart can be free. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. One day, one day, one day, one day, there will be a place. Seriously, guys. No, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. It's just like, and that's that fear thing again. Fear to say the things that I want to say. Fear of doing the things I want to do, because consequences of those words. There's always consequences to words. And I'm going to be hopeful that one day I can say the things that I cannot say. I'm hoping. And if I can't or won't, then one day I'll say them to all of you. Anyways. And maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. Just little bit. Anyways, you can watch this series and just see my quick, I was going to say slow descent into madness, but no, it's just like, shoo. It's like, you ever gone on like a roller coaster? Time for the descent into shoo. It's a quick drop. Anyways, I will end it here. Yeah. I want everyone to know that, I'm good. I'm still good. I'm going to be on vacation next week. Woo! Again, vacation. How many vacations do I get? All of them. Anyways, so hopefully this week goes by fast and well too. Honestly, like I said, I was having a really good week for the most part. Personally, there were some things happening with some family members and some friends of mine that have been kind of crap and kind of pissed me off. Well, not kind of, like really pissed me off. But that aside, overall, it's been a positive week for me emotionally. So I wanna leave at a happy high note. So thank you all for watching another episode, and I will see you guys all next time. And hopefully you're all doing well, and hopefully you find inspiration and maybe some solidarity and some hope. And I want you all to be happy and to live well and to live your best lives and to fight for your dreams, to fight for yourselves, fight for yourself. And don't let the world cut you down and tear you apart and reduce you to a bloodied nothing. Stand tall, rise. All right? Okay. So, stay sexy, Internet. I am out.